The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. W's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by W, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. W's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. W Energy, be better. Are you a fellow car guy? I have a 2008 Ford Mustang GT convertible, and nothing makes me happier in that car than when it's nice and clean. And you know who helps me get there? RevAutoCarCare.com. They help me get that pony looking as nice and shiny and ready for any of the car meetups that are all around the great city of El Paso. Spoil your car and go to RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton and view all the inventory they have and find out what works for you to help make your ride shine. RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton. Use promo code Tipton33 at checkout to save 15%. We all know there's hundreds of betting sites out there, but don't be fooled. Some sites are legal in some states only. Some sites pay in Bitcoin, and some sites have even been hacked. BetUS, however, has been in business for over 30 years. Future bets are paying out in the thousands, and if you act right now, you can still bet on the biggest games in sports. Visit BetUS.com, or you can click the link at nessp.info. BetUS, check it out and bet responsibly. It is time for the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. What's going on, everybody? Mike Tipton hanging out with you here on a Thursday morning, Thursday, February 20th. I hope that y'all are having yourselves a great day. Sorry, got a couple of emails here that I just got, so that's perfect right there. Nice. Okay, so I wanted to start today's show off in what has to be one of the dumbest stories. What's up, Tommy? I see you right there. One of the dumbest stories that I have heard in quite some time. And I remember growing up here in El Paso, and I'm sure that other radio stations did this back in the day too, is we would have on the Buzz Adams morning show, we would have this segment that was kind of tailored around just dumbass criminals, like criminals doing dumb stuff in order to be and that's how they get caught, right? It's they do all these dumb things, and that's how they get caught. And it turns out, if you were paying attention through some of the, I guess, storylines that were surrounding, there you go, Will Herron's got it. Stop breaking the law, a-hole, right? If you were paying attention to some of the stuff that was going around the NFL, especially during the season, right? Like Joe Burrow buys a Batmobile, they go on the road in Dallas, and he comes home to see that his house was broken into. Upon investigation, it turns out that the criminals that did it were part of a Chilean gang or something like that, whatever all that stuff is, right? But the way these people got caught, the way these idiots got caught, was because they were taking selfies of themselves committing the crime. According to the FBI, burglars who recently targeted famous athletes' homes, such as Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Joe Burrow, bounced from city to city using cars that they rented with fake IDs. They would ditch the car as needed, along with burner phones that they used to coordinate with one another. They would hide in the woods and monitor the homes and patterns of the security guards, then break into the homes of the wealthy athletes by breaking small windows or prying open sliding doors before stealing watches and designer bags and chains and cash and all that stuff. They seem to have had a great master plan, right? Like they had a phenomenal plan here. Like we got the burner phones that we're going to be throwing away. We got the fake IDs to rent these cars. We're going to hang out in the woods and watch and monitor and do all the things that we need to do. And we could have gotten away with it if it wasn't for sitting back and being like, yo, kissy lips or whatever it is, duck face, as I got to show the world that I am currently robbing major athletes. And it goes out like this. In the document that the FBI released yesterday, the FBI lays out how the gang members were undone by allegedly posting photos for their co-conspirators to see on an iCloud site. The images were obtained and released by the FBI. I've got to find these images now. And show the three alleged burglars along with an unidentified fourth man posing with watches apparently stolen from the home of Milwaukee Bucks forward Bobby Portis Jr. So, for whatever reason, they decide, let me break into this dude's house, and now I am going to just selfie time it up. I feel like there's a legitimate chance that they could have gotten away with it if not for taking stupid-ass photos of themselves as they're currently in the middle of breaking the law, right? Like, of all the dumbass things that we could have seen, like, I grew up in Socorro. I saw some dumbass criminals doing some dumbass stuff, right? I remember coming home one day. I had a different Mustang at the time. I had some nice rims on it. And I was out of town. I came home super late, and there's a guy in the driveway at my house attempting to take off the rim or like the wheel on my Mustang. Doesn't even have it jacked up. He's just got like his crowbar and stuff. And I'm like, my guy, like, what's going on? You need some help? Like, what's the deal? He was like, oh no, dude, I just got to change the tire on my car. And I was like, really? And I turned on the alarm on my car and said, because this is mine. Like, I don't know what the hell you're doing. And then his excuse was, oh, it looked like you had a flat. It looked like you had a flat. So now we've got like I wanted to help you out. Again, I've seen some dumbass criminals do some dumbass things. Augustine saying, what is this Russian propaganda? Oh, wrong channel. Not too sure what that is referring to, Augustine. I'm down for the conversation. We want to start having conversations about stuff, make people uncomfortable. I am down for it. Let's see how we can go. Let's see how far we can push this envelope. But I just remember thinking about that to myself, is like, you're in my yard. Again, I grew up in Socorro. I live in Texas. I don't care what your thoughts are on guns and stuff. I had some, right? And like, I really could have done some damage if I really wanted to be an a-hole, because in Texas we have a thing called the castle law. But I wanted to see what it would have been, right? And then fast forward to a couple of, I guess, maybe a month or so ago here in El Paso, there's that video that's out on FitFam. Shout out to FitFam, where there's a guy breaking into cars, and they confront him, and his whole excuse is, oh, I don't know where I'm at. Like I thought you called me. Like that was his excuse, right? And I always kind of think to myself, obviously, if you're a criminal and you're like one of those lower level criminals, you're not going to be the mastermind of the entire thing, right? But I like to romanticize, I guess, like Ocean's 11 and stuff like that, where it's like, maybe you come up with a plan of, if you get caught, you just have something else to say other than, oh, I thought you called me, or I got somewhere to go. Like, I got to go somewhere. I just got to go. Right. Like, I think that's what the guy kept saying. Like, I got to go. I got to go. Augustine says that he loved how his comment made me think. Well, I'm just going to put it up here right now. Augustine saying that Trump is the best president ever. Okay, cool. Arguably one of the dumbest comments I've ever read in the history of my show. And I've read some pretty damn dumb comments in the history of my show. Again, if you're going to say stuff, just don't say random stuff just to try to say stuff. Just intelligence. That's all I ask for. I don't think it's too much, right? Like give me something to work off of. I was hoping maybe there'd be some sort of thing here where you can like back up your comments. I know that that's not how you think. And I know it's just something you're doing to try to get attention. So I'm going to give you the attention you want. I will platform you here. Please allow me to understand why that is your feeling. But if you're just going to comment stuff to just comment stuff, come on, guy. Like genuinely, come on. I'm trying to do something here, and you're just constantly. Augustine saying yes, and all those bad ones have come from me too. Actually, no, you have. There was another person. I actually had to block somebody. I didn't think we were gonna go here today, but hell, we're here. I had to block somebody. I had a legitimate stalker for quite some time, which is a weird thing for me to say. And it wasn't like a female stalker, it was just a male stalker. And he would call into the show whenever I was on 1380. I'm not going to say the name. He would call into the radio show. And it would be like 7 or 8 times in the hour that he would call to just try to talk to me off air. And then it would be, random times throughout the rest of the day, like just calling the studio phone line to try to get a hold of me to tell me about his life and all the stuff that he wants us to do together. And again, like on Facebook and Instagram and like YouTube and things like that, created, and I am not exaggerating here, created 14 different accounts, somehow used all of the like somehow use the same name for all of the accounts. Like if you're going to be a stalker, be smart. Again, like this is what I'm asking for, right? Just be smart about it. Don't make it so much easier for me to know who the hell you are. 14 different accounts that he would just put out there. Like Augustine, I had to block all 14 of them. And I'm not talking about like, I'm a pretty laid back dude. Like at least I like to think that, right? Where it's just Tommy, where it's just like I'll have a conversation with anybody. I've never understood why other people wouldn't have a conversation with people. You know what I mean? Whether it's out in public, whatever it is, I'm lucky that you guys even recognize who the hell I am, right? I genuinely and firmly believe that I am lucky to be in the position that I'm in. So I will placate to a lot of conversation. But there comes a certain point where if you send me 30 messages in a row while I'm trying to work and I don't reply back, I don't expect to get, well, you're an MF and MF and MF and this and that and that and that. And then, oh my God, I'm sorry. Let me do these sexual favors for you. Like it was, I've seen stalker cases before, being in like radio, being in media. I remember having to walk people out to their car at certain radio stations that I was at because of stalker type things that were going out there. And I never would have thought that it would have happened to my goofy ass, right? Like, who the hell is the person that's like that guy? That's the one that I would like to like do all this stuff with. So imagine, Augustine, if I'm willing to platform the comment that you put up, and I'm willing to just have the conversation of, let's see where this story goes. Most of you that know me know one thing about me is I will do anything for the story. I guess I can't say anything. That leaves a wide stuff. I will do a lot of things simply for the story, right? Like that's just how I'm wired. That's just how I'm built. I will try to find out, okay, let's see, so I can tell this story later on in my life, and I can look back in my time and say, damn, I actually had a pretty damn good life. Tommy can also say sexual favors, never mind, that's not me. We found the line, Tommy. We found the line. I'm glad we did that. Dude, I'm telling you, it was it was an eye-opening experience for me, and it's still a thing. Like the most recent time I had to block them was in December, and it's like Jesus, man. I haven't been on iHeart's airwaves. I can't say that. I guess the show that I was doing back then, I hadn't been on in 5 years almost, and this person still contacting me and doing this and doing that and all of that stuff. Destiny saying, yeah, that stalker was creepy, 100%. It's and it's still a thing. Like it's genuinely still a thing. I've gone above and beyond what I've had to. I even talking to my guy Mike Rivera, who was in my on my side at that time. I had to like be like, do I take legal action with this stuff? Like, because I never would have thought that I would have been in that position. And I've got some stories to tell you, especially about being the late night radio guy for KTEP, right? Like there's a lot of things that happened right there. So, geez, man. And that right there, if you're gonna be a stalker, don't give out the same name all the time on your 14 different accounts that you had created. If you're gonna go robbing people, don't take selfies. Don't take selfies of yourself breaking the law, right? Like it doesn't seem like it would be that difficult of a thing to to do. Just don't be a jerk. Don't be an a-hole, right? Like, but it's kind of difficult. Kind of difficult for that. Augustine saying, should we give him your cell phone number? Dude, I'm again, I'm really cool with a lot of things, right? Adrian Zamudio, good morning to you, my dude. Hope you're having a great day. I'm cool with a lot of things. That was one of the ones where I was like, I ain't giving my phone number out to nobody. Nobody no more. You got my phone number? Congratulations. I even went as far as trying to create like another Google line and being like, here, just call this number. Anytime you want to talk to me, call this number. Having like a pre-recorded like message for him. Like, oh, I hope you're having a great day, buddy. Oh, dang, that's crazy. Right? Like that would have been the way that I went about doing things. Who would have thought the conversation goes from the Chilean gang that is known to travel throughout the United States and burglarize residents that belong to popular and well-known professional athletes from the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL, goes into a comment about the president, goes into a comment about comments, and then turns into the stalker that I used to have, or probably still have. I don't know. If I end up dead, there you got your reasons, right? I've lived a good life. Just remember me and don't even remember me. Just be like, oh, there was that sports guy that I used to listen to that one time. I think I'll be happy with that. If you just refer to me as that sports guy that you used to talk that I used to watch or listen to. Tommy Canon's saying you should have just done the creepy Mickey Mouse voice. He would have left you alone. I think the Mickey Mouse voice probably would have I don't know, it might have kept him around longer, right? If I'd been like, "Oh boy, I'm so happy to hear from you." Huh? Like it would have something in his brain would have gone off and it'd been like, "Oh, hey, we're all good with that." That's just saying we talk about everything on this show. Okay. I don't know about that, but I will try to talk about I will try to be as open as I possibly can with y'all, my dedicated and amazing support group here as this show continues to be my therapy couch and all the things that I need it to be. I need to drink some water. I might play some commercials because there's something that's about to come out of me that I don't want. Wait, pause. That I don't want to show on camera, and I'm fighting it very much. I have been fighting it. I'm fighting for my life here, guys. I have to start taking like all kinds of different medication. I need to see a witch doctor. I've got to find something out here. Maybe the smoking cigars and stuff like that. Maybe that'll be the thing that helps me out. Who knows? Not feeling my best as we power through all of the little things here. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay. So outside of that story of just dumbass criminals, which I wanted y'all to get a laugh out of, right? Like How dumb do you have to be to post up selfies of yourself while robbing professional athletes? You went above and beyond to, I guess, come up with a scheme that would have gotten you a lot of money, a lot of jewelry, a lot of just like cool things. And you let it go to the wayside because you had to pose with a watch from Bobby Portis Jr. I assure you, I'm the only person with all the people that are watching, whether it's on Roku, whether it's on X, YouTube, or Facebook. I'm the only person here who knows who the hell Bobby Portis Jr. is. Why are you posing with his watch? You couldn't have posed with like Patrick Mahomes' Super Bowl ring or something of that nature. It had to be Bobby Portis Jr.'s watch. Like, again, just dumbass criminals. Thank you though. Thank you for I guess giving us the information and allowing us to laugh at your stupidity. Or at least I'm laughing at it. I think it's great. Stupid criminals. I think what I'm going to start doing now is looking up stupid criminals with like sports stories and different things like that. Although I feel like those stories aren't going to be as stupid as they are going to be creepy with, again, stalkers and things of that nature. So maybe I just changed my mind in the middle of me trying to talk this stuff out. But yesterday, again, slow news day. But there were a couple of NBA games that happened. And in the NBA, we got the second half of the season. There's been a lot of talk, especially surrounding the Luka Doncic, LeBron James, or Luka Doncic. Why can't I think of his damn name right now? Anthony Davis. Between Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis, the trade that happened there, how bad the trade has been for the Mavericks so far because AD is hurt. And then you get what you could have felt like was a cupcake schedule for the Los Angeles Lakers. They come back from the break, and they get to face off against the lowly, and I mean lowly, Charlotte Hornets led by LaMelo Ball. The Hornets are a bad team. They've only got 14 wins on the season. They've played 60 games. They've got 14 wins on the season. And what happens here is the Lakers lose on the road to the Charlotte Hornets, a team that I'm sure a lot of people out there are like, holy hell, I can't believe that team still exists. The final score being 100-97. The Hornets 14-39 now on the season. The Lakers dropped to 32-21. And the entire thing that surrounds this game was the end of the game, right? LaMelo Ball hits a nice little floater, gets the win for the Hornets. But it seemed like LeBron and Luka were just not on the same page of who's going to be the guy to take the shot at the end of the game. And I know for Luka, it's you say it's LeBron's team, right? Like it's LeBron. LeBron is the legend. He's blah blah blah. Whatever it is that you want to do, if you're going to genuflect to LeBron, maybe, right? But Luka Doncic is a better player. I think we can all agree on that Luka Doncic is the better player of the two. And Luka, to me, should be the guy that takes the last second shot. This should be Luka's team, not LeBron's team anymore, right? Because Luka is where you're going to build. LeBron being the guy that gets 2 looks from 3 to try to tie the game and misses both. Why is LeBron James taking that shot? LeBron James isn't the shooter that Luka Doncic is. So why are we letting LeBron get 2 shots off whenever we know he's not a good outside shooter? He's not a great outside shooter. You know who is? Luka Doncic. So for the Lakers, it's maybe you got to lay the law down, which is going to be hard to do, right? Yesterday we were on the National Professional Sports Show, and we were talking about the NBA and how do we fix the NBA All-Star game and like the issues that are around the NBA. And I said it on this show. I said it on that show. I'm going to say it here again. It's so hard to put the toothpaste back in the bottle once you squeezed it out that now the Lakers are in that position with LeBron, right? You gave him all the power. You made all the trades. You mortgaged the future of your team to placate to LeBron James. And now you have to realize that he's not the guy on the team anymore. Now that you got Luka, Luka's the guy. Luka's the number one, which is insane to think about that LeBron James, yes, season 21, season 22, whatever it is, has finally gone down to being the number two guy on the team. It's going to be a tough pill to swallow for LeBron James, once again, because you gave him all the power, all of it. You signed his son. His son's not any good at basketball. You traded away the future of the team. You got rid of all the draft picks. You've gotten rid of all the players that LeBron wanted you to get rid of so that you can get AD, and then ultimately you get rid of AD, and now you got Luka Doncic. Luka should not be taking a backseat to LeBron James. Period. End of discussion. It shouldn't happen that way. Luka Doncic is the better of the two players now. And I agree, Tommy, Luka is better than LeBron by 100, right? Like greater than LeBron by 100. Now, it's so early in Luka's career, and look at the trajectory that he's on. Like just the type of player that he is. For LeBron James to be the guy taking the shot at the end of the game when you've never been that guy to begin with, that was always the knock on LeBron's career, right? Look at whenever the Cavs won the championship back in 2016 against the Warriors. LeBron passes the ball to Kyrie Irving. It's Kyrie that makes that shot that wins the championship for Cleveland. It wasn't LeBron. Now, obviously, LeBron helped get them there and do all that stuff, but the guy who hit the shot at the end of the game was Kyrie Irving. It wasn't LeBron James. It wasn't LeBron going above and beyond and doing all the stuff that we expect LeBron to do as the face of a franchise, right? That's always been the knock on LeBron is you don't take the last second shot because you're not great at taking the last second shot. Now you have a guy who is built to take the last second shot, and you're not allowing him to do so? You don't pass the ball off to Luka of all the people that are out there? Like, what the hell is the game plan here? And I know it's got to be JJ Redick, LeBron James's podcast buddy, placating to his friend and saying, no. I will let you, LeBron, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, I will let you be the guy who decides who gets to take the last second shot. The Lakers are going to have a problem. And that problem seems to be it's going to be LeBron James's ego. So, I mean, we're going to have to find a way to get through all that. But if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm kind of despondent. As someone that doesn't like the Lakers, keep letting LeBron take that last second shot. It should be his all the time anyway. Let LeBron be that guy. LeBron thinks he's that guy. Let LeBron be that guy. Man. I saw a story yesterday because, again, slow day, so it's going to be a lot of basketball. I saw a story yesterday, and I was reading on it a little bit earlier today, and I was like, damn, this is absolutely crazy to think about, right? College basketball is upon us, and March Madness right around the corner. We're getting ready for what's going to be a phenomenal March Madness. Now, I will agree that me personally, I haven't paid attention a lot to college basketball this year outside of the University of Texas at El Paso. So seeing that Alabama was a number 4 ranked team kind of made me smile just a little bit, right? I was like, you know what? That's kind of fun. Alabama being the number 4 ranked team. We normally used to them being the number 4 or higher ranked team in college football. Seeing Alabama being good in college basketball, kind of a surprise, but you know what? Also kind of fun. But I'm listening to a game and I'm kind of watching highlights and stuff like that, and I get that Missouri beats Alabama at home, and they beat them. I'm looking for the score here, so that way I make sure I get the score right. And again, it's not going to be up here, so there it is. But they beat Alabama at home. The upset over the number 4 team in the country. And with just 1 second left, Missouri's head coach takes the timeout, but he doesn't address his team. He addresses the fans.
Hey, please do not rush the court.
Wow, Dennis Gates. Dennis Gates is on the mic saying, don't rush the court. It costs a lot of money these days.
I'm going to play that one more time just because it's so funny to me.
Hey, please do not rush the court.
Wow, Dennis Gates. Dennis Gates is on the mic saying, don't rush the court. It costs a lot of money these days.
That last part, it costs a lot of money these days. Again, it's been a while since I really paid attention to some of the stuff in college basketball. College football has taken the mantle from college basketball, right? But to me, one of the coolest parts about college athletics is you get to storm the court. You get to run down onto the field whenever your team has an upset. We saw it earlier this year. Alabama, wow, it happened to Alabama twice. Alabama getting upset by Vandy. Vandy knocks down the goalpost. They take the goalpost 3 miles down Nashville all the way to a river just to dump it into a river. That's the fun stuff with college football, right? Like whenever your team gets that upset. In college basketball, because of issues that we had seen over the last couple of years, players getting hurt, players getting hit as other kids are running onto the field, running onto the court, college basketball has now instituted a fine for anybody or for the home team if anybody storms the court. So that's why Dennis Gates from Mizzou had to.
Hey, please do not rush the court.
Wow, Dennis Gates.
Please do not rush the
He had to beg the student section to not rush the court because it's a $500,000 fine if the students rush the court. College sports is supposed to be about fun. College sports is supposed to be about all of the things that we don't get in professional sports, right? We see an upset in professional sports. It's, whatever. There was an upset. Anything can happen. These guys get paid a lot of money. They're always all good, right? College athletics is a place where we're supposed to let go and just allow it to be. If I'm the AD, if I'm the president of the school, and my school just did something amazing, I'm dipping into that athletics budget that's gotten me millions of dollars, and I'm saying I'll bite that $500,000 fine because this is going to be a core memory that all of my future alums that are at this game and current alums that are at this game are going to be able to look back on in the next, decade or so, because when's Mizzou going to have another opportunity to upset a team like that? This is a core memory that we could build around that people are going to say, that's awesome to see at our university. Not being able to storm the court is just so damn stupid, man. Tommy Canonza saying, I would have rushed the court anyway. Those programs make a lot of money. Exactly. It's a $500,000 fine. We're talking about in college football, because they're in the SEC, Missouri's in the SEC, a team that gets roughly $25 to $24 million annually just for its TV budget on football, just to broadcast their games on the SEC network. They're getting paid over $20 million. My guy, dip into that budget, allow your kids to storm the court and have themselves a good old time. Now, if it was UTEP, I'm storming the court anyway, but I'm probably also going to get a letter in the mail saying, here's your part of what you owe because we don't got the money that the SEC has, right? But I'm storming that court. I'm allowing my student section, my fan base, all of them to have that memory as we get into the college basketball NCAA March Madness, right? It's right around the corner. Now you've upset one of the best teams in college basketball, which is what we love as fans. We love that shit. I know I shouldn't have said it, but it's just going to come out that way. We love it, man. That's what we look for in sports, are those upset moments. So for the coach and the athletic director and all the people involved to kind of just sit back and say, oh, guys, don't storm the court. This is awesome. Oh, my God, I can't believe we did this, but don't storm the court, please. I don't want to pay no money. For them to do that just shows where the business is taking college athletics, and it shouldn't be that way, right? Like, again, yesterday we were talking about basketball, what has impacted basketball, and people are saying, NIL, and I even went as far as saying like AAU, right? All these players being told they're special. You have to realize what a special moment is whenever you're in that special moment. If there was ever a time to say, you know what, I'll eat the fine. I'll eat the fine. I got no problem eating the fine. It was yesterday with Mizzou, because I assure you, I've got to maybe check out to see if they're ranked or what any of the stuff is. Yeah, so they're the 15th ranked school, right? They can be on the receiving end of that upset in just a couple of weeks. Tommy Canazza saying, and his tone gave me jerk vibes. I would have wanted to do it even more. Exactly, right? Like, the fact that you take a timeout, you're up 110 to 98. The score is not like it's not in question. There's 1 second left. You can see the fans are getting ready to go. You take a timeout to prolong it just so that you can say,
Hey, please do not rush the court.
Wow, Dennis Cates.
Please do not rush the
to say, please do not rush the court. Please don't do it. It's such a castration, and I don't like to say that word that way, but it's such a castration of what's happening to college athletics, right? Because of the issue of like, oh, like Vanderbilt, they stormed the field and they tore down the goalpost, and oh my God, we have to replace this goalpost. Now we're not going to have as much of an ROI on what we would have had earlier in the season because no, they tore down the goalpost. How could they do such a thing? Oh, woe is me. I'm $1 million athletic budget, multi-million dollar athletic budget. How will I ever be able to pay for this stuff? And then looking back at it and seeing that there are now, I get there's new technology that at the end of the game, all the school has to do is push a button and the goalposts just go down on their own. It takes away from like those experiences. I'm sure people are, well, we're protecting them. We're trying to make sure they don't get hurt. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that, blah, 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 whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. It's not like an issue that we've seen schools get sued because somebody got hurt, right? Like, we've never seen that issue. And yeah, Tommy's right. Oh, they're taking part of his $1 million bonus away. College athletics, and I know I've said this a bunch of times, like if you're new to any of this stuff and you're thinking that, you know, sports isn't about the bottom line, then you're living in a fantasy world. But in college, you kind of want a little different outlook with stuff, right? Like, you can spend the money all you want in NIL. Why not spend it in those core memories for your alumni base? Because those are going to be the people that eventually give you money into your NIL bucket, right? Into whatever donations we see that happen to all the major universities. Hell, I donate to UTEP, and I'm not even a UTEP fan. I just graduated from UTEP. I'm a Texas Tech fan. I just graduated from UTEP, and I still donated to them for quite some time. And every year it was, hey, you think you can give us a little bit more? I mean, you're Mike Tipton. You must be doing well for yourself. You're bald. You got a beard. You got a voice. You got to be doing good. Instead of giving us this amount, how about you double it? Or here's an idea, triple it. And now we'd be able to do these things. And it wasn't because I expected a return on investment from UTEP. It was just I want UTEP to be better, right? I assure you, if and these opportunities don't really come up at the University of Texas at El Paso where you upset a top-ranked team. But if that had happened and we're getting ready to run down onto the court and you get someone over the PA system, Tim Floyd's like, hey guys, please do not storm the court. Please just don't do it, please. I'd have lost my ever-loving mind because, again, like, it's not for the athletics department. It's not for any of that stuff. It's for your effing fan base. It's for your future alumni that are going to be packing that building long after that coach is gone, long after this season of where you got your one upset is. allow them. I can't even say allow them. Don't try to stop them from doing what we've seen over the hundreds of years of college athletics. I guess 100+ years. I can't say hundreds of years. Someone out there is going to be like, that's the wrong way you said that, Tip. Over the last 100+ years of kids, because that's mainly what's there, of kids just allowing themselves to be in that moment. It's so, like, and normally I'm the guy that's like, you know what? Get off my lawn, right? Like I think I've lived long enough to become that guy. Get off my lawn guy. Allow the damn kids to run on the court. Bite the fine. See, that's what came out. Bite the fine and make sure whatever it is, you got some contingencies for moments like this. Don't try to take it away from the kids. I got heated on that one, man. I apologize. Another word almost came out. Shout out to my friends over at Roku, National Stream of Sports. I was on the National Professional Sports Show yesterday. They're making fun of me about being a Dallas Cowboys fan, which is strange to me because I feel like I'm more of a level-headed person, right? Like especially when it comes to the Cowboys. Like I'm not one of these people that's overly annoying about the Dallas Cowboys. I'm kind of in the middle. Like I look at them as a team. Like, yes, they're my team. Yes, they disappoint me a ton, but I also know what to expect. I have a certain level of expectations for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh no, we're winning a Super Bowl every year, bruh. Jesus Christ, how many messages am I going to get from those people today? Okay. But we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. We're talking about the needs that the Dallas Cowboys have, and it was perfect. Tommy Cananta saying NFL salary cap rises, Tip. Cowboys could open as much as $70 million. I know. I don't want it to happen, Tommy. The way they're built right now is not a championship team. I keep hearing like random noises, like voices. They're not my voices. Like I just hear random voice. Like I wonder if someone's broken into my house because like normally I'll watch, right? I keep the show on. I do my thing, got the computer. I have it on mute so that way I can, monitor one of the comment sections, and I don't have it on my phone. So I don't know where these noises are coming from. And like it's a weird little voice. I'm probably it's a Chilean gang. They're coming after me. There's going to be a selfie. It's going to happen. But going back to what you said, Tommy, I don't want the Dallas Cowboys to open up $70 million in cap. I don't want the Dallas Cowboys to think that they are close. They're not, right? That's where I guess the juxtaposition of yesterday's conversation is Dak Prescott said the Dallas Cowboys were close, so let's make fun of Tip. Okay, cool. I know the Dallas Cowboys aren't close. I know. It's going to happen. Tommy's saying it's going to happen, though, Tip. I don't want to restructure Dak Prescott either, but right now they have a little under $3 million, and that's not even enough to sign draft picks. I think if they restructure Dak, they have to just front load it. Absolutely front load it. So that way it doesn't become what it is now, right? And that's the thing is dead cap is a real thing. $128 million in dead cap to Dak Prescott this year is insane. If there's a way that you can just give it to him all as a signing bonus, then maybe restructure it, but don't push, don't kick the bucket down the road because it's just not going to be beneficial for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't see how that's a winning proposition for the Dallas Cowboys. Like it genuinely isn't. But yesterday we started our conversation. What do these teams need in these divisions? And what we're going to look at right now, they'll restructure Dak and CD alone will open up $56 million, but then they stay in the same position that they're in salary cap hell. kicking that burden down the road. It's what's going to happen to the LA Dodgers when Shohei Ohtani retires. And there is going to be, trust me, it's probably going to happen. There is going to be, with the next collective bargaining agreement, a salary cap and a salary floor in Major League Baseball. That contract that they signed with Shohei Ohtani is going to bite the Dodgers in their rear end. Check out some of the comments, make sure I didn't miss anything there. All right. So again, remember, yesterday it was the AFC East, and we started from the best team to the worst team. Obviously, now we're going into the NFC East. The best team is the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles won the damn Super Bowl, so it's hard for me to say that they can get better, what they need to do to get better. If there is an issue that you can say the Philadelphia Eagles have, it's in their secondary. CJ Gardner-Johnson, great. Darius Slay, a little older, not as good as what he used to be. So if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, what I'm going to target would be defensive back help. Maybe you get some on the offensive line, a little more depth. They've already got the best offensive line in the NFL. There's projections saying that they're going to get Jack Sawyer, who's an edge rusher from Ohio State. I don't know how much more they need on the defensive line. They've got a really damn good defensive line. If I'm them and he's available for me, Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame, that's who I would be targeting because I need help in my secondary. My running game is solid. Maybe a tight end, but I don't think I take a flyer on a tight end in the first round. And again, maybe just to help me out on the offensive line, I get some depth because there is going to be some turnover on the offensive line in the future, like Mekhi Becton, Lane Johnson's getting old. Like there is going to be some turnover there. Maybe you start looking at guys like Derek Harmon out of Oregon. But if I'm Philadelphia, I'm feeling good right now. Cornerback's where I got to go. Benjamin Morrison, that's who should be available there. If not, Siobhan Revel Jr. is going to be there as well. So maybe one of those two guys. If they get another defensive player, I will, like a defensive lineman, I will lose my ever-loving mind because it's just something they don't need. It's just something the Eagles don't need. Then next, you have drafting in the number 29 spot, a team that made it to the NFC Championship game that no one really expected to be in the NFC Championship game. They've now given themselves what I feel like are unattainable expectations for the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders, they need a lot of help. Tommy, I'm with you. I'm thinking the exact same damn thing. If they end up, oh my Lord, could you imagine? If the Eagles end up with Derek Harmon, with that already amazing defensive line they have, it'll be over. Like it's done. That they would be able to survive anything. Like it's just, it doesn't, please, for the love of God, do not allow this to happen. Okay. I look at Washington and I see a team that, again, I believe overachieved, that I think has a good future, right? Like you've got an okay running game with Robinson, Austin Eckler. You've got an okay receiving core, right? Like that's probably where we want to add some pieces, would be in the receiving core. But what's going to be available to you at 29, right? Like if you look at a lot of the mock drafts, what's available there, Matthew Golden at 28, would he actually still be there at 28? Matthew Golden with Jaden Daniels alongside Terry McLaurin, I think that's pretty damn solid, right? Is he going to be available? You also have issues on the offensive line. Maybe you get some help on the offensive line on who might be there for your team. If I'm Washington, though, I don't look at this season, and it's going to be extremely difficult to do because you can't say, well, they have a lot of things they need to fix, right? They got lucky. They were a super lucky team. A Hail Mary doesn't go their way against Chicago. They're not even in the playoffs. That's how lucky this team was, right? A lot of one-score wins here. They got into the playoffs. They got hot at the right time. This is a very, very flawed team, and we saw that against Philadelphia. Again, Philadelphia makes a lot of teams look flawed. There was just Washington was overwhelmed by Philadelphia. Whether it was an offensive line, whether it was a defensive line, whatever it was, Philadelphia was just overwhelming for Washington. They are not as good as what people would think they are, despite the fact they made it to the NFC Championship game. I look at this team, and there's a ton of issues that are on this team. The offensive line, the defensive line, the linebacking core, the wide receiving core, and the secondary. All of that needs to be addressed if I'm Washington. Best player available, if he's there at the time, would be Matthew Golden. If not, then you're looking offensive line. Maybe Josh Connerly will be there. Maybe Ariante Irsay will be there out of Minnesota. And that's what you need. You need offensive linemen, just big, meaty dudes, 6'3", 340 from Ariante Irsay, right? Like, that's kind of the position that I'm going to if I'm the Washington Commanders. I've got a great future ahead of me, but I cannot allow my quarterback to be running for his life. I need to address the offensive line. It's never sexy, but it's one of the most important positions, if not the, outside of quarterback, if not the most important position. You've already shown it, right? Jaden Daniels has it. It terrifies me that he has it as a Dallas Cowboys fan because I wasn't expecting him to be this good. Again, mea culpa, my apologies. I was wrong. But if you have that type of a talent at quarterback, you got to keep him on his feet because if he's on his back, he's not going to be able to throw the damn ball. Tommy Canonza saying Washington should focus on building up that offensive line. I'm telling you, teams are going to figure out how to keep Daniels in the pocket. He's going to have to do real quarterback things next year. And I agree with that. I firmly feel like Jaden Daniels is going to be okay no matter what. But there is that rookie or that sophomore slump, right? Like, it's a legitimate thing. Look at what happened to C.J. Stroud. We were all talking about how great C.J. Stroud was going to be. There was a big drop-off, and he has some talent around him, much more talent than what Jaden Daniels has. I will say, though, that I think Jaden Daniels is the better, more pro-ready quarterback. So I think he would be able to adjust a little more to whatever defenses are doing to him. I agree, Tommy. The offensive line is where the focus should be for the Washington Commanders. Now, yesterday, and I even said it earlier today, it was going to be we go from the best team. Yesterday it was the Bills, then to the second best team, which was the Dolphins, the third best team, the Jets, the fourth best team, the New England Patriots. We're not going to do that today, because the conversation is going to wind up being very Cowboys heavy. So we're going to knock this team out real quick. The worst team in the NFC East, and it wasn't even close. You talk about a team that has a ton of issues. Quarterback question, running back question, offensive line question, coaching questions, general manager questions, wide receiver, defense, you name it, there's a problem with the New York Football Giants. They have the third overall pick this season. Third overall pick. And all the projections are that they are going to wind up drafting Shedeur Sanders from the University of Colorado. I don't think they should do that. I don't think whenever your team is that bad, whenever you look at these teams that are up here that are in the drafting top positions, right? With Tennessee, with Cleveland, with the Giants, maybe the outlier is the Patriots, and maybe the outlier is Jacksonville as well. But Las Vegas, the Jets, Carolina, New Orleans, those teams, 7 out of the top 9, all have glaring issues that are outside of the quarterback. You draft a quarterback number 3 overall, and you are setting him up for failure on that team. The Giants, looking at them as a whole, right? Looking at everything the Giants have as a whole. They have $45 million currently. If the salary cap goes up, that could change. But they have $45 million in cap space going into the 2025 season. That's not enough to address the myriad of issues that the New York Giants have. Now, as someone that doesn't necessarily like Shedeur Sanders, I think it would be great to watch him just not succeed in New York. But if you're the Giants, it's you got to get, like Tommy's asking, who's going to play quarterback for them next year, right? You got to go quarterback, in my opinion, but I wouldn't draft Shedeur Sanders. Cam Ward's probably going to go number 1 overall to Tennessee. That's the way that I look at it. Cam Ward is the better quarterback of the two. If I'm the Giants, I'm just getting a free agent quarterback. I can get any free agent quarterback out there to, again, not have a great season, because it doesn't matter who your quarterback is going to be. You're not going to have a great season. So why not sign a free agent quarterback that's out there? Why not get like a Cooper Rush or someone like that? Like, obviously it would hurt me as a Cowboys fan, but get a guy that you know is serviceable, that isn't going to turn the ball over, that can probably win you a couple of games that you're not supposed to win. And again, it doesn't sound sexy, but with that number 3 overall pick, you can and I'm with you on that one. Maybe we give him Trey Lance. Take Trey Lance, and there you go. You can learn all the Cowboys secrets by having Trey Lance. You trade that pick down. That number 3 overall pick is going to be coveted by a lot of teams that are out there. You stock up on draft picks. You don't have a future this year, New York Giants fans. I'm sorry. I know it's not what you want to hear. You don't have anything working out in your favor this year. Trade that pick down, stockpile draft picks, sign Cooper Rush or whoever to like a 2-year deal, and just take your lumps over the next couple of years, but keep all that draft capital. So now when the salary cap eases up on you, you can go into free agency and you can go into the draft and build your team from there. Now, in the number 12 position, because they weren't bad enough to get a top 10 and they weren't good enough to make the playoffs, they are in purgatory where they belong and where we have come to love them to be, are the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, as far as, the big board goes, are drafting in that 12th position. The Dallas Cowboys have some players here that they can get. I will go with the 5 players that are around the projection for the Dallas Cowboys. And you have a tight end in Tyler Warren. I don't know if you go tight end. You have an edge rusher in Michael Williams. Maybe. That's interesting to me. You have an offensive lineman in Kelvin Banks Jr. You have a safety in Malachi Starks that you kind of need. And then you have what I feel would be, if he's there, you got to take him, a running back in Ashton Genty. The Dallas Cowboys need a running back, but they also need defensive line help and offensive line help. They also need secondary help. So if they get any of those players, whether it's Ashton Genty, whether it's Michael Williams, whether it's Kelvin Banks, whether it's Malachi Starks, any of those players, hell, even Jalen Walker out of Georgia, the linebacker / D end, if you get a guy like him, another linebacker, that's what you got to do. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, you have to address either the offensive line, the running back position, the defensive line, the linebacking, the DB. There's a lot of issues that surround the Dallas Cowboys right now. Me personally, I would love to see them get Ashton Genty, team him up with Rico Dowdle, and I think you got something going for you. If they don't get him, it's not going to sound sexy. Get the offensive lineman, Kelvin Banks Jr., 6'4", 330 from Texas, and I'm a happy man. Tommy Canonza saying he wants either Genty or McMillan for him. They need DTS, and unless Mason Graham is there, I don't want to take a DT that high. Yeah. I mean, they need defensive tackles and stuff. And again, like, I still wouldn't take a defensive tackle that high. Like I feel like you can get someone get a fat guy in free agency. Tommy, me, you, and Augustine, we need to just try out. I'll gain some weight, which is going to be easy for me to do. I'll gain some weight, and we can talk to the Dallas Cowboys about shoring up that defensive line. I'll take a couple hits for a couple mil. Let's do it. All right, I want to thank you so much for tuning into today's show. Tomorrow, we are going to continue. We are going to continue talking about the teams that we need to look at in the NFL. Obviously, everyone, I want to thank you so much for tuning into today's show. It was a lot of fun. If you're a criminal out there, don't be stupid. We'll see y'all later.